Hello everyone, welcome back to Voiceletter from Canada. How are you guys doing today? And thank you very much for coming back. How was your last 2 weeks? Time passed really quickly for me at least. Every time I remember to record my voice, I remember to record for this radio show, I feel like 2 weeks went by like nothing. And I'm glad I'm not in Japan today because April is the beginning of month, beginning of like school year and also business year in Japan. So I can easily imagine that it's really busy and people are active, happy, and also stressed out in April. Well, for some people, this could be a beginning of month. So maybe you started going to new school. You might be working at a new company. You never know. You might move out to somewhere better or could be worse. Whatever it is, I hope this start is a good start and a meaningful start for you. Knowing that this radio show was mostly targeting English speakers, not Japanese speakers. So whatever the time you're dealing with right now, or whatever the thing you're dealing with at this time of the year, I hope things are working well for you. So let's move on to the questions. First of all, thank you very much for sending me a lot of questions. Interestingly, I got a lot more English questions, comments than Japanese one this time. And actually, I read an answer to those English questions in the Japanese version as well, but I'm gonna go through anyways. I tried to go through as fast as I can because it took a long time for me to like answer everything in the Japanese version. Okay, let's start with the first one. First of all, I'd like to say I love your videos and streams. I've been in your streams a couple times now, but I always in the background. I feel more relaxed that way by just watching. Second, I've noticed some things have been happening to your channel, some bad things. Like you mentioned in your radio show, it hurts me a lot when there are people out there who try to do their best to really put effort in their work and still there are people who treat them this poorly. It's really sad. I'm glad I can write this down here and you anonymously. I will say this. I also believe strongly in karma, and karma has been set in motion. But who keeps doing this with troll, dislike, and anti-fan messages? Stop it, because karma is gonna hit you back double as hard. I am sure it will. I didn't want to rage this much, but I just don't like it. Knowing you put so much work in your videos, I'm even jealous of your videos. I do have one question after all. If somebody comes to your streams for the first time and likes your channel and the personality and wants to become a streamer as well, what would you give that person as advice? Again, thank you, Ms.Bean. I love you for who you are in your channel. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. This kind of comment keeps me going. Knowing that I'm kind of independent person to do anything, I prefer to be by myself and I call myself a loner. It doesn't work for me to work with other people. In some way, I love isolation. But it doesn't mean I don't appreciate this kind of comment. And this kind of comment is a source and energy and fuel to keep me going. So I really thank you for that. And it's okay to stay in the background. If you want to say something, that's okay. It's really common for, especially Japanese people. People come to see me, especially come to see me and just like listen to my nonsense. I just say blah, 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 blah. And some people find it interesting and relaxing. So if that's something you're looking for, and of course you feel free to just stay in the background and say nothing. I'm fine with that. I'll do the work for you. I'll keep talking if you just want to listen to me. And if you want to interact with me or interact with other viewers, you're also welcome to join in the chat. You can just say hi and never speak one more time during the live streaming. That's also fine. And another thing, it still upsets me. Like, I also said this in the Japanese version because this person hasn't stopped yet. And I also believe strongly in karma. And I know it could be like religious, it could be spiritual, but I just don't want to do things that would be bad for other people. Because I believe in karma, because I am afraid of karma. Like, I feel like this negative energy, idea, feelings will come back to me if I do the same thing. So if you are still listening to me and understand what the hell I'm talking about, I wish you stop. But I don't know why this is happening, to be honest. Like, I also question myself, what did I do? Like, how do you feel to hate someone so much? How do you feel to like do this kind of harassment to me? Like, what kind of feeling do you have to harass somebody? Is it painful for you? Does it hurt? So in some way I started to feel bad. It's not just some kind of harassment. I started to think like, why does this even happen? But you know what, I could go more and more, but probably it's better to keep my mouth shut at this point. So let me answer to your question. What if someone comes and they want to start streaming? What kind of advice would I give? I gave the similar advice to someone who wanted to try uploading videos instead of streaming. I would give the same advice. If you are interested in making videos, streaming, go for it. What's stopping you? Just try it out. You might love it, you might hate it. But one thing I will ask you to do is continue doing this at least 6 months, or continue a year, 6 months to a year. Keep doing it. If you can't do it, if you can't make the promise, then you shouldn't do it. Because I've seen too many people complaining about they're not getting views, they're not getting enough attentions. You know, please subscribe to my channel. If you keep thinking that way, this is not gonna last. Because simply, there are more people streaming and uploading nowadays. Who's gonna watch it? Even for my videos, number of views are going down. Do I care? Of course I do. I'm aware of it. Of course I do. If I don't care, I don't even know. I don't even check the statistic. But it doesn't mean I'm gonna fight for it anymore. I just take it. Like, I honestly don't know what kind of number would be suitable for my video anyways. I've never got, like, you know, amazing 10 million views. Even like 10,000 views, my struggle anyways. Like, why would I even get there? But that's not really the point for me to make videos. Simply, I do this for myself. I love doing it. And if I can get a comment like you gave me, I love to see your videos. I like your channel. this is the only thing I want to hear at this point. And if I can get more, then I'm just a lucky person. Like, I can't ask anymore. So my advice would be, can you continue for more than 6 months or a year? Then go for it. Because this kind of thing takes time for people to understand how it works and the skills you can gain. You can't learn anything in a few months. That's why I said like 6 months, a year. Because after a while, what you're going to learn is how to deal with people. Like, let's say you start streaming and then trolls come and you learn how to deal with them, how to talk to them, what's appropriate, not appropriate. If you're going to upload videos, and you realize, oh my god, this BGM is so loud. Wow, I can't hear myself. This kind of thing happens. So what do you have to do? You have to learn how to deal with them. This kind of thing requires time to develop. So that's why 6 months, a year is definitely necessary. Can you do it? Then go for it. Next! How long have you been living in Canada? Do you get homesick? If so, how do you cope with it? I moved to Canada in 2010, August. And right now, 2019 in April. Wow, 9 years. Oh my god. What was I even doing? I just got older. I was in Vancouver when I was like a teenager, like for 5 months. I was in the language school, but that's all. And I moved to Canada after I grew up, like when I was 22 or something. So I wasn't a baby anymore, and I was busy with the school stuff. I didn't have a chance to get homesick. And if I get homesick, I usually think about like my parents' face and stuff. Oh, cute being, huh? But when was the last time I felt that way? I don't really miss Japan. It's nice to go back and see my parents and feel, my home. But at the same time, like, life in Canada is more normal for me now at this point. Every time I go back to Japan, I feel very awkward. I feel like I don't fit there. And people see me like that too. Like, every time I see my friends, they treat me like a foreign tourist. They don't literally deal with me like a Japanese person. Oh, did you know about this? Have you ever seen this before? Something like that. I was like, come on. We have the internet in this world. Internet. And of course I understand what you're talking about. But little things are sometimes confusing. Like whenever I went to get some groceries in Japan, I feel like all the cash register and the customer service is like way too much to be just polite. I'm kind of practical person because I got used to this Canadian culture. It's a little bit awkward for me. There's a little bit of culture shock, I guess. So I don't get homesick. What about you? Do you get homesick? Next question. What is your favorite bean? What is your favorite bean, Ms.Bean? I don't really like beans, to be honest. What's good about it anyways? Do beans taste good? I don't know. I like Japanese edamame. I don't know if you guys know about this. It's green beans. I like that beans, but I usually don't eat it. But I like chickpeas. The first time I had chickpeas was a Mediterranean food, I think. Hummus? That's chickpea, right? I love hummus. So that was the first time for me to eat like actual peas or beans. But when I was in Japan, I didn't like any of beans or peas. Like, what's good about this? I don't know what I'm eating. Why do you cook with so much soy sauce and sugar? Grandma? I absolutely hated the food. So why am I called Bean anyways? Next! What is your favorite thing about streaming currently? I enjoy streaming because I can talk with viewers. The reason why I stream is to interact with people. I don't play games. I talk with people. And then I play games. So every time I miss your comment, I feel bad. I always read your comment like after streaming. And if any chance I missed your comment or anything you wrote in the chat, I just missed it. I didn't ignore it. Like for me, that's really important. No matter how big my channel gets, it's important to interact with people. I know it's gonna be impossible if I have like, I don't know, 500 people in the chat, but my idea is try to interact with you guys. And of course I should be focusing on games, and some people think it's important, and I agree. Because I'm playing games, and the chat is there. But for me, it's important that I interact with you guys. Like sometimes it's hard to deal with people who just talk about their life in the chat or themselves all the time, or they just keep asking me questions that's absolutely nothing to do with the game. That kind of thing would be a little bit a pain in the butt to deal with, but still I try to interact with every single of them because I can see that they're interested in me anyways, right? So if I don't see them like respect, if I don't see them showing respect or like showing interest in what I'm doing, then I consider this is a troll. And I consider this person's like not really interested in interacting with any of us or any of the things I'm doing. So my answer to this question is interacting with people. That's the most important thing. And if I want to focus on games and upload the contents, I'll just make it into videos. Okay, the last question was written in Japanese, so I'm gonna translate it. Hello Bean, thank you very much for your video. It's always fun to watch. So when we talk about spring sounds like a new school year or new life or new business year. Have you started anything new this spring? Or are you thinking about starting something? I already discussed this with somebody else. For me, this time of year is bad time of year for me. Bad means like I don't feel good. Like throughout the year, this time of year is a bad time of a year. I know it doesn't sound like anything, but that's how I feel. And this kind of thing lasts till my birthday. So for example, what happens is I notice there are more things that really affect me physically, mentally happen at this time of year. I don't know why, but I noticed this when I was like 14 or 15. And I always felt like this. So whenever like I feel this negative, how can I say, negative energy, negative thinking, negative thoughts, what I can do is just do nothing and be patient. Like I try not to overreact. I try not to like do anything like energetic. Try not to overreact. I feel like I've been told to be patient and deal with it. And this is gonna last, you know, maybe like up to 2 months. So I'm trying to stay quiet. However, what I've started recently is I try to actively translate games that's only available in English into Japanese. For example, the War Talks video I've made, that one was originally only narrated in English, but I wanted to see the actual lines and translate the lines into Japanese so that the people who can understand only Japanese can understand the story a bit. And that game, Don't Starve Together, is really a big game for me for a long time. So I wanted to do this for myself and also the people who had a hard time understanding the story. And honestly, that kind of little thing takes a lot of time. But every time I make a video, I feel like I accomplished something. I feel like I learned something. So it's for other people, but at the same time, I'm doing this for myself. So if you can enjoy this, if what I enjoy is helpful for you in any ways, like, I'm very happy. I'm very happy about that. So in a way, I'm very selfish because I'm just doing this for myself. But if you can appreciate it, then that would be great. Okay. Well, actually, I talked a lot in the Japanese version, but I'm gonna stop here for this time. I could talk about a lot of things. Like, I talked about weather. It's snowing right now. It's April and it's snowing so much. I've never seen so much snow. I wanted to talk about this. In the game I tried, the Poly Bridge. It's a surprisingly good game, interesting game. I wanted to talk about it. And I wanted to talk about this documentary show called Inside the Weird World of an Islamic Feminist Cult. If you haven't seen it, just watch it. And I was laughing the whole time. Well, it's probably not funny for all of you, but for me it was so funny in some way. And it's a story about freaking cults. Interested in cult? Go for it. And I'll see you guys in next 2 weeks. Bye bye.